Welcome back, I'm the Watch Nerd. On this video, I'm going to do a fantastic comparison. You'll notice there's two watches on the wrist. On my left wrist, of course, we have my personal Oyster Perpetual 41 millimeters, and then I have a Wimbolton dial 41 millimeter Datejust. These are both arguably the hottest stainless steel models in Oyster Perpetual and Datejust, especially this version in the Datejust. It's very, very hot right now. They are going well above over retail on both of them. So I'm very excited for this comparison. If you do want a full spec sheet on this watch, I'm going to review them both individually, and I will talk about what I feel about them. But on this video, we're just going to talk about the differences and get a little bit on price and what I think what both of these will do in the future. But this is not a review of either piece. This is just a comparison between the Oyster Perpetual and the Datejust. Before I do that, I do want to keep announcing my Chanel chain giveaway. I'm going to be giving out this chain as soon as we hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you want to be entered, there's the 4 steps in the description below.
So here it is, the arguably the best of the two of the collections. Now I get some people would say the blue, but this is not why we're here. We're here to compare it. We're going to start with the Wimbolton, but looking at them both, they're so unique and different. And if you've seen my unboxing, this is my personal Oyster Perpetual 41. It is just truly awesome. But starting with the Wimbolton, let's talk about a little bit dimensions. It is 41 millimeters, the same as the Oyster Perpetual. We have a fluted bezel. We do have a screw-down crown, same water resistance, but we do have a date window here at the 3 o'clock. That makes it the Datejust. Everything, the dial, all the Romans are painted, and then we have a 9 o'clock applied logo with lume. The hands are loomed, the hour and minute hand there. We do get anti-reflective coating on the the Cyclops, I should say, not the whole sapphire crystal. Milled clasp. We do have high polish in the middle, as you can see, and I want to notice the actual cornet at the end because it is different. The 5 millimeters of easy link adjustment, though, is the same on both options, and that high polish, though, just notice from the images I'm showing you, and these are far away images, you can tell scratches. At the same time, my Oyster Perpetual is pretty much new. I mean, I do wear it. I have scratches already on the Oyster Perpetual, but yeah, as you could tell, this is a very magnetized. The scratches on the Wimbolton a lot bigger, noticeable. The face is smaller on the Wimbolton. It's noticeably smaller, but the bezel is chunkier and it's heavier because you have to realize that bezel is made out of 18 karat gold and it's a solid bezel. Rolex really does make everything solid, and it weighs heavier noticeably on the hand. I did not weigh them up, but I will tell you, just substantially, it is a bit heavier. I do really love this rhodium dial. Very cool. It's unique in its own way. I'm not a massive fan of the Datejust 41, and I am of certain aspects of it, but I love the 36. The Wimbolton, though, I'm showing you off the quick set very quickly, but the Wimbolton is just so special, and I prefer it in the 41 too. I like the size of the 41 preferably too, and we'll get to that when I actually review the Oyster Perpetual and talk about these pieces more. But I had the Wimbolton for a day, so I wanted to put a video out with this watch. I definitely want to add it more into different types of watches and show you all these crazy cool pieces that I get my hands on. I want to show you right away. So let's move on to the Oyster Perpetual itself now. We have brushed center links that adds to the sporty aesthetic. We have a not fluted but smooth stainless steel bezel. They all come like this. Now, the Wimbolton, it comes on a variation, a Jubilee Oyster, Jubilee Oyster, and then fluted, non-fluted. So you're going to get different aspects of the retail price. I'm just pointing out everything on the dial is 18 karat gold. All the logos and the actual hands are 18 karat gold, as with the Wimbolton. But the Wimbolton has less gold on the dial because there's only one marker. Yeah, that's it. So it's pretty interesting actually on this one. But everything else, of course, the Wimbledon has a fluted bezel. The case size is and noticeably I see a little less than the Datejust just because the fluted bezel makes a bigger presence. We do have high polish all the way around though, um, on the bracelet, so on the outside of the bracelet, as the same with the Wimbledon Datejust. The rotor, here's the movement. This Wimbledon was bought in December of 2020, and it was not upgraded yet to the 3235. That's the new one they use it in. The Oyster Perpetual is upgraded, so it has the ball bearing movement. It has everything that's really, really amazing, and we'll get into that when I fully review it. Here, the clasp is the same. It's a milled clasp, identical to the um, Wimbledon there, but the only difference is we will show that coronet. So the coronet's actually inside. I like that better. Yes, it is flashier on the Datejust. It really is. And that's really the only difference with the clasp, of course, the high polish. But when it's inside, when it's etched in, it is just so amazing with everything. You can beat it up as much because when you beat up the Datejust, you shouldn't beat up your watch. I shouldn't say it like that, but you are. If you wear these, they're not safe queens. You will get scratches. There's no question. Yes, you can polish them out. I'm never going to polish mine just because I like it. I like the history that it tells. As I keep pointing out, it is the class that is a major. And I'm not a fan of the high polish. And the date window, too. After I bought the Oyster Perpetual, I loved date windows. I love the Datejust. Don't get me wrong. The quick set I showed you was so silky smooth. It's basically a brand new watch. It's 5 months old now. But it is still something so simplistic like the Oyster Perpetual I love a lot. And I feel like the Oyster Perpetual is to me a sport model. It is a sport watch. The Datejust is not. The Datejust is a classier piece if you need to go to meetings, if you're a businessman, and you like a flashy Rolex. I mean, look at both of these Rolexes and tell me which one's flashier. 100%. It is the Wimbolton that is the flashy one here. But these are just some things I've noticed. We also have a little bit of AR coding I noticed on the Oyster Perpetual. Not much though, and that sums it up. The 48 hours though is kind of a downturn. But now they use the better movements like the Oyster Perpetual. But it's awesome. I get to have both of these pieces at the same time. Getting the Oyster Perpetual is an amazing story, and I do recommend going and visiting my previous video because I do talk about that. But this is just a quick video showing off slight differences. I didn't get into technical details just because I wanted to make it very short so you guys can watch. I noticed more of my short videos, get more viewers because it is wasting 14 minutes going through every single detail of most of these you already know. I mean, the 31-35 movement, I don't need to explain that and things like that. So I do like making a little bit of shorter comparison videos. I would love to know all your opinions down in the comments below. And if you do want to win the Chanel chain giveaway, there is the 4 steps in the description below. Thank you, and I will definitely catch you on the next one. Have a fantastic day.